Yep, it's recording.
Hi, my name's Amanda.
Hi, nice to meet you, Amanda. My name's Anika.
Okay, so I just wanted to give you a brief outline. I specialize in humanistic therapy, which is basically a type of therapy where I can't exactly help you come up with a solution. I can't tell you what to do in a certain situation, but I'm going to emphasize with you and sympathize as however much I can and just, be there for you and truly listen. So, what did you want to come in and talk to me about today?
Well, lately I've just been I feel like I've always just loved relationships, and I usually never have problems making friends or keeping them, but I don't know, lately I've just been feeling a little out of control with my relationships. Like, I don't know, the main relationships I'm talking about is like my roommates, my living situation, and even my, my work. I'm a CNA and it's a lot of nurses, and I feel like everyone has buddies there except me. I'm kind of like the floater, and it just kind of upsets me because I never used to be that person who was like a floater, and now I am all of a sudden that person. And I know that it's not a big deal, but it just kind of affects my job performance. Like, I got called into my office the other day, which was the kind of like that point for me where I was like, what am I doing? I'm letting my feelings affect me too much. So I don't know, I'm just kind of don't understand why I just feel like really frustrated, I guess, about the whole process.
So would you say you're lonely lately, or you're lonely in your relationships?
I mean, that's one way to put it. I think lonely and kind of like no one's giving me attention. Like, I'll try to talk to people, but I can see kind of them not being as understanding. Like, my roommates, it just seems like some of them went on a service trip together, and my other roommate went to visit them while they were abroad, which was in Mexico. They went for a service trip, and it seems like now all of a sudden they're a group for a different friend. And honestly, I don't even know if it's just me who thinks like that, or if they actually have more inside jokes now, or if they just kind of do things together. Like, I don't know, the other day I had work, but they didn't even invite me to this roomie dinner, and then I see pictures of it on Twitter and Facebook, and it just kind of upset me because they didn't invite me. And I asked them about it. I was like, why didn't you invite me? And they seemed offended. They were like, well, you have to work. Like, why would you think we're not inviting you to things? And it's just kind of upset me because I couldn't tell them because we've been hanging out so much together, and I just kind of feel like they're just doing things on purpose, and I don't even know if they are. They're really not bad people. It's just I've been really short with them, and I felt really embarrassed, but in the heat of the moment I told them like they could have used any of my supplies, and now they're kind of upset at me because they think that my anger is unwarranted, and I suck at apologizing to people, so I know that for me, like, unless I really mess up, I will never apologize. And I don't know, I guess I'm just I think I want to have the cake and I want to eat it too. So like, I want their friendship, but I don't want to apologize to them or be on their level.
That seems really frustrating. So how would you like the situation to go based on this fight with your friends, in your ideal perspective?
I think I just want them to kind of understand that they are making me feel like the outsider, which I don't think is fair at all, because I really did care for them, and I don't know, we were really good friends. And I don't know if this is in my head or if this is real, but honestly, after they've come back from Mexico, it just seems like they talk about things and I have no idea what they're talking about. And if I try to change the topic, they'll somehow revert it back to the subject that I was trying to avoid. And it seems like it happens a lot, so at this point I don't even want to hang out around them, but I just want the old them back. But I guess it's kind of hard to get that back. And I don't know, and that kind of affects how I feel like I'm viewing other relationships. For example, like in college, the people I hang out with the most are my roommates. I don't really have a lot of really good friends outside of that. And as for like the nurses, like I also feel like they have their inside jokes. So I'm just kind of trying to think, how can those two happen at the same time, or is it just me? Like, I think I'm just really like, my head is just playing jokes on me or something. I don't know what's going on.
So you seem pretty confused in your relationships. You don't really know where your role is, feeling like an outsider.
Yeah, I actually do really feel like an outsider, and I feel like I'm observing everything kind of in my life. And like I said, I'm really stubborn, and sometimes my pride is the most important thing to me, and that's something that I'm scared of too. Like I'm know in my head that I'm choosing my pride over my relationships, which is not making me any happier, but I'm giving the people the image that I'm happier. So I know I'm just trying to like hide from them, like hide my true feelings, which is not helping, I know, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, what do you think I should do to like, just,
What do you think would be the best way to make this situation better? You say that you're feeling like you're hiding your feelings, so what do you think the best way is to show your true feelings?
I guess I could talk to them, but like I said, I'm so stubborn, or like, I'm trying to think of other options, like, maybe I could write them a note and make them some sort of food, but I don't want to make it awkward, because you know how girls can get, they'll make sure it's still awkward, and I can be sure that they still, like, they're talking about me behind my back when I'm not in the apartment, because when I come back, it's like, they barely want to know about my days. They'll be like, oh, hey, like, they'll just say hi, like, and they'll, like, watch TVs, and some of my roommates have boyfriends who are always there, too, so it's kind of awkward, because I feel like they're their own little clique, and I'm just kind of the person. And all of them are, like, I guess, like, I come from, like, a very, like, average, like, middle-class family, and most of my roommates are really rich, so none of them have jobs outside, like, all their work is school-related, and so they don't really, like, do a lot of work, whereas I work like about 20 hours a week, and I do have a part-time job like on campus too. So it's like really hard to kind of find time for them, and when I come home, it's like I'm dreading to go home, and just kind of like you said, like I guess I feel lonely, like I shouldn't have to be dreading going home after so much work and things like that.
So you seem really busy. What about other relationships in your past? Have they always been like this? Have you always felt like an outsider?
No, which is a surprising thing. I feel like, I guess in the past, like when I look at my friends, like I always used to be one of those people who had the most friends, and in my high school, and like even for the first few years in college, like people would always come to me to kind of plan events, because they knew that I could get like some of the most people involved in common programs and things like that, or parties and things like that. But like the more college is going, the prices are rising, and I like barely go out, maybe like, and I'm almost a senior, and I feel like all this time just went away and I didn't do anything with it. And I know that like I've never gone on a service trip, I've never gone on study abroad, I just kind of have always been in the same area, and I feel like everyone is advancing and I'm still stuck in the same place. So sometimes that's really hard, trying to kind of, go out and go out of my comfort zone, and yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, that seems really frustrating. So it seems like you feel like everyone else is moving forward, but you're kind of doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
So what do you think you could do to change that, if you want to get involved in other things?
The thing is, see, like, if I want to stay in the school, then I don't have time to do other things. It's just really expensive, and because of all the budget cuts, and being middle class, like, I don't get any financial aid, so it's really, like, I got screwed over in a sense, because, like, neither am I getting any governmental help, and my parents pay for some of school, but you have to understand, like, they're doing their own thing too, so I don't expect much from them. I pay for most of my school, and I've taken out so many loans already, and I just don't see, like, just this one more year, like, I know I want to take loans, but I also want to enjoy my school, so it's just kind of, I guess it's really, really hard, and it's really hard to even see my friends doing fancy things and things like that, because all of them, like, most of my school, like, most of the people are, like, kind of rich, and, like, if they're not rich, they're at least in the upper middle class, like, where they have, like, a lot of money and they can do fun things outside of work. Like, most of their kids, like, most of my friends don't pay for college, and it's really hard sometimes when they're talking about, like, things, and it's like, well, I never had the opportunity to do those things, and it makes me feel more and more, like, alienated from them, in a sense. So I wonder if it's just kind of, like, I kind of coming into the school, I knew it would be like this, but I didn't know it would be this hard, I guess.
Would you say you've done a good job transitioning throughout the years dealing with this?
I think I always kind of brushed it to the side, and for 3 years when you keep brushing to the side, things like build behind your back, and it like grows until it kind of one day collapses on you. I feel like I'm at that point now when I'm just like, what have I done with my college life? Like, I shouldn't have done something which I couldn't have like afforded, or like I couldn't have like had a good experience. So like, and what really bugs me is that when I talk to my dad about it, or my mom, like, you know, like if I cannot talk to them about it because my parents were not really in support of me coming to the school. Because when, fun fact, my dad, when he went to the school, he had a similar situation, and he was also from a middle class family. And so he knew that like he came here for like a year and transferred because he could not, like, they were just not on the same page. And I just really wanted to come here because of the location, and it's beautiful and everything, all that jazz. And I don't know, they gave me like some scholarship, but it would be cheaper for me to go somewhere else even without a scholarship, and I probably could have gotten some form of scholarship because I'm not a bad student.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Back to your relationship with your parents, would you say that's pretty good then? They seem supportive, or?
I would say they're supportive if you listen to them, but if you don't, like they'll make sure, like they're stubborn like me, so they'll make sure that they kind of bring it back, and they'll be like, oh, I told you about this. Like, they will sneer at me like every chance they get, but like I know at the end of the day, like if anything happens to me, like they'll be the first people I call. So like it's kind of one of those relationships where like I know that they have my back, but at the same time, like I don't, it's not a very stable relationship, I would say. Like it's like not even unstable, it's stable, it's more like, it's like selectively stable, I would say. So.
Okay. What would you say the most stable and supportive relationship in your life is or has been?
I would say my best friend. We've been best friends since 4th grade, and we are still best friends today. And even though we don't talk, we can when I go home for breaks and things like that. I live like an hour away, so she'll visit me sometimes. And like if sometimes over breaks when we go home, like you know, even if our schedules don't align, we make sure we go and see each other. And so I don't know, like I just kind of, I guess we've been best friends forever. So I feel like she's the one person I can talk to. But now, like, she's just got engaged recently, and now she's all of a sudden, like, doing her own thing, and it's like, again, I feel like I'm not on the same page because I don't even have a boyfriend because I never had time to, and things like that, so I couldn't ever, like, really date anyone and be in school and have a social life and have a boyfriend and do everything at the same time. So like I said, I just feel like I missed out, and I should have definitely focused more on, like, my relationships instead of just doing things to get through school.
Yeah. So it seems like you kind of have a problem with the relationships in your life at this point. Do you think you can do anything to strengthen those relationships? Like you have problems with your roommates. Is there anything you could do differently besides making them food or anything like that? Like could you empathize with them about your problems?
Yeah, but honestly, I don't think they will ever get it. They're very kind of, I feel like the reason we're roommates and good friends is because at least my freshman year and sophomore year, we would kind of go out a lot, and we all like to party a lot, which is one of the reasons why I feel like we were really, really good friends. But now when it's coming down to like kind of a more of like everyone's busy with school, and like the studies are getting like coursework is getting harder, and we're just all kind of, it's not freshman year anymore where you can like not study and still get A's, and it's more like you have to do your things. And like I know for a fact that most of my roommates, like for them like they never take education as seriously as I did, so like that's where we kind of clash. And I can see that like relationship where it's like we are great together like out and stuff like that, but we're not very like, our goals are different, like our priorities are different, and now it seems like it's just very different for us. So I guess honestly, like, I don't know if talking to them would help. I wouldn't mind talking to them honestly, like, you know, even though I'm stubborn, I'm pretty direct if I have to be. If it's something I need to do, I would. But honestly, I don't even see like how I can talk to them and kind of, you know, I mean, like you said, like, I could do acts of kindness, like I could make them dinner one day and just kind of, you know, sit down and like talk to them one day. Like, I mean, wouldn't you think that would help?
I think it would. Well, it just seems like you seem like really busy with work and school and everything, do you think that has a role in how your relationships are with them? Think you're too busy to be with them?
Yeah, I have seen that definitely. Like sometimes like we live in the same house, but I will go like a couple of days without seeing some of my roommates. And it's ridiculous because we live in the same house and it's just for either I come home really late and they leave really early in the morning and I don't come home till late at night again. So it's definitely happened where I will only see them once a week. But every once a week, like in that week, they like form new memories and they go to places, they do things. And it's not like they don't invite me, like they do, but you can tell that they're not even counting on me. And I really like the idea when someone can count on me to do things because that makes me want to do things. And I guess it's just kind of, I just feel really crappy because I feel like I know I can do better but at the same time I feel like the sacrifice I make to get a better education for myself is not allowing me or enabling me to have kind of like a good experience in college with my peers and friend groups and social life in general.
So in your ideal view, would you say you have a lot of friends and you're getting good grades and you're keeping busy? Is there like a way that you can balance all three of these things?
I think I should work a little less, honestly, because I have one more year in college and I really would like to kind of somehow bear it through. And like, I mean, the only solution I can think of is that not recently, like about 6-7 months ago, like my grandma passed away. So like she did leave me some money for my college. So like, and I was more thinking that I was going to save that for after college when I started apartment hunting and things like that. But I feel like my grandma would have wanted me to be more happy than like think only about the future. Like, so I feel like maybe I could potentially like work less or even like, you know, not work one of my jobs anymore, like keep only one job and kind of go around and kind of, you know, use that money. And in the meantime, like I can, I'm sure, like work on jobs, and if I'm happier, I think ultimately like in the end, I will, no matter what, think I'll have a good experience. And I can always, you know, go back to my parents' house because my parents always love to have me, even though I don't visit them often. But like, they would love to have me, and I can even recuperate there until I can decide what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's one option that I could do that I never thought of till now.
Yeah, and your happiness is the most important thing too. I mean, that's really important, and that'll show with your relationships. That'll show with like your education too. So.
Yeah. So just kind of, as for like my nursing, I mean, since that job is not making me that happy, maybe that's a job I should work less on. If it's on campus, maybe it's less time commuting to work and things like that even. And I guess I just have to remind myself that those nurses, like I will never probably see them much in my life again, and after I'm done working there, and my, like, you know, being kind of like a nursing major, it's really, really hard to have like so much, like, you know, there's so many classes and etc. And I don't know, just kind of, and I'm lucky that I'm graduating on time because of all my hard work, because usually, like, you know, it's hard to graduate in 4 years for nurses. So it's kind of, so I'm really glad. I wouldn't, like, I think at the end of the day, like, I'm happier because I don't have to stay here with like people who are like not my age. Like I'm not going to be the old person, because I don't like to be the older, like, you know, person or whatever in a group. Like no one wants to be that person. So I think, yeah, I think one of the ways I can decrease like my relationship issues with the college, like not the college, the nurses, is like making that job less, or like, you know, work less there.
And do you think it would be helpful to go visit a friend or your friend from 4th grade that you always get along with? Do you think that would be helpful too?
Yeah, lately I've been calling her more, and I know she's there for me, but I feel like I'm taking away her time from her fiance, because like previously, like we could always call each other whenever, and like even though she had a boyfriend, and like he's such a great guy, but like now they're kind of like a thing, and I just don't feel comfortable telling her a lot of things because I feel like she's gonna share it with him, which I wouldn't blame her for. But like I don't know how I feel about like her sharing more information. But then again, like I'm assuming things I shouldn't, you know.
You think you're assuming things with the relationship? You're not being honest.
Yeah.
With her?
Yeah. And and lately I've been seeing this like kind of like, not, I wouldn't say negative, but kind of like, I always imagine the worst scenario possible. Like every time I want to open up to someone, I think like, well, I would, but they're not really like probably going to, you know, care, or kind of that feeling. And I know like my best friend does care, so I think maybe I could even have a conversation with her. Like that would maybe help us both communicate clearly, because we're not in fourth grade anymore, and we're like adults, and we should just talk like adults, like what my expectations are, and like, you know, and I'm sure she's not gonna be like, well, I'm sorry, I have to tell my boyfriend everything or my fiance everything, so things like that. So
Definitely, I think it'll definitely help to be honest with her, tell her how you feel, and maybe the success with her with the relationship with her can bring over to the relationships that you have here at school. Maybe you'll be a little happier with that.
yeah, I think that definitely is true. That's insightful. Maybe I can do that, just kind of work less, enjoy my senior year, use the money that I already have instead of trying to kind of, you know, just live. Because I do love my roommates, and that's one of the things, because I can never stay mad at them for long because I know that they're good people. So I guess just kind of focusing on people's strengths is what I need to do, instead of focusing on like what is like, you know, the worst aspect. Because like no matter what relationship, even like no matter what relationships like you have in your life, there's always going to be some things that you disagree on. So I guess I just kind of have to accept it as part of life and not take it as seriously.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So I think we've made some progress today. So your appointment is in another couple weeks. I'll see you then.
Perfect.
Nice
Thank
to
you,
meet
Amanda.
you.
Yeah, nice to see you too.